Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be doing a quick review of Speakeasy by Cornell and Diehl, which is a Navy blend. Virginia, dark-fired Kentucky, and Perique, with a slight rum topping. Crack open the tin, it's very tangy, almost sour in a way. Very reminiscent of what you would think of as a typical vapor. It's got some definitely earthy qualities to it. It's a very musty smell. It kind of smells like it's been sitting in an attic for a very long time. But it's still tangy. Like it's still got that typical Virginia sweetness. I don't really smell the Kentucky a whole lot. That is not the case in the taste. Upon first light, it is very Kentucky forward. The rum topping on here is not very strong at all. It's a very mild topping, more condimental than anything. The flavors that you'll get moving through the bowl are, when you start off, it's very sweet and sour, with a very heavy emphasis on those dry spices that you get from Kentucky a lot of the time. I was getting like salt and pepper. Oddly enough, I kind of picked up a little bit of a minced onion flavor, and then that rum topping a little bit, but not a lot. So there's kind of a lot going on here. It does die down in that oddness. As you move through the bowl, it kind of settles into a much more earthy and mushroomy flavor. The Perique really comes out more in the second half of the bowl. And the spices kind of develop from those really like hearty, savory spices into more like, I'm getting more of like a dirty chai latte, you know, like cinnamon. And some of those more like drier dessert spices. It's still very dry in the mouthfeel and the taste. The Virginias are not potent. They're just kind of like, you can tell that they're there, but they don't like overpower any of the other tobaccos here. It comes in a broken flake. as most of the Cornell and Diehl flakes are. They're very good looking little broken flake pieces. I don't know if you can see that in the lighting, but it's looks like a really good mix of all the tobaccos. It's not a dark flake, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a light flake either, because the tobaccos here are all pretty evenly mixed. Moving into the end of the bowl, the Kentucky is the most prominent, with those meaty spices, kind of like a beef jerky or like a very well seasoned steak, maybe. But I do still pick up that Virginia. It's, again, like I said, very mild. Definitely on the back of the taste. And that Perique at this point has kind of, again, moved into the background. So this is a very interesting blend. It's not overly complex, but it is complex enough to require some attention if you want to pick up all the different flavors that it's highlighting. Again, the rum topping, don't let it scare you off. It's not prominent, at least for me. Mechanically, it's actually a lot easier to work with than some of the other Cornell and Diehl flakes. It rubs out really fine into a nice fine ribbon, and I don't really have to mess with it too much once it's going. Like if I'm sitting here talking, obviously it's gonna go out, but if I was just puffing away, it would stay lit for me fairly well. There is mild, for me, there's mild tongue bite. Virginias, I've discovered, tend to do that to me a little bit, but it's nothing that's going to detract from the enjoyment of the blend. This is overall quite enjoyable, and I'm very glad that I decided to give it a whirl. That is Cornell and Diehl's Speakeasy. If you like Kentucky, Virginia, and Perique, this is a very good mix of those three tobaccos, and I would recommend it for sure. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening.